because yeah, it's gonna be
Quite
enlightening.
interesting. So
It's gonna
we're gonna learn some stuff about some of y'all tonight, and we're gonna find out if it's true, if that's you or not. Like, is that you? I
yeah.
mean, we can see your physical features, your forehead and your eyes and all that kind of stuff, but we're gonna dive into your spirit a little bit.
I'm
You know what
like,
I'm
how
saying?
I just got here. Dang.
Oh.
Hello to you too.
Well,
Well, hello.
I don't know how much of that spirit diving we gonna do, but we definitely gonna talk about, you know what I'm saying, some things that might pique your interest, and y'all let us know if y'all actually, you know what I'm saying, believe in this because
Right,
listen, like Benji said earlier, we don't knock anybody. Whatever you believe, you believe. We
Right.
know what we believe, but we
right,
like to have these conversations, you know what I'm saying, because even if you don't believe in it, it's okay to have knowledge of stuff, right? To have
right,
knowledge
Right.
of what's out there, to have knowledge of what other people think, and so on and
right.
so forth. So, this is why we do this stuff, man, because it's a lot of stuff out there that we don't know. And there's a lot
Right,
of stuff out there that you don't know. So we go and
right.
find it so we can talk about it. You know what I'm saying? So,
And y'all should know us by now. Like if you just a recent follower or whatever, like I said, like we want to talk about the topic. We ain't closed minded. You know what I'm saying?
No.
We want to talk about the topic. We want the content, but we also want an understanding to a degree as well. You get what I'm
You
saying?
want to leave learning something.
yeah.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
And big shout out Trish Michelle, you know what I'm saying? I see you got on the shirt over there that look like some fly conic you got on.
Oh,
You know what
you
I'm
all you
saying?
know. You
You
already know.
you
Oh,
already
got the
know. You
fly
already
conic
know.
popping.
You got the Fly Conic
Hey,
on. You know what I'm
you
saying? Shout
already
out to my
know.
guy Brandon Denson, owner of Fly
Yeah.
Conic. Y'all go to flyconic.com, you know what I'm saying, and get you some.
Another
Mhm.
dope episode we had. I'm telling y'all, we've had some dope guests on this show. I keep telling y'all, man. We've
Yup.
had some
Shout
dope guests.
shout out to Brandon Denson, my guy. All
Yes.
right. So let's say this, okay? Y'all put in the comment, do you believe in astrology? And if you believe in astrology, then put your zodiac sign in there so
Right,
we can keep track of what's going on, so we can have record of what's going on.
right, right.
Because I'm not gonna ask the cash yet. We're gonna discuss ourselves, you know what I'm
Right.
saying, eventually. But I just want to educate you all. So Benji, I'm gonna ask you first. What do you think astrology is?
I ain't gonna even lie to you. I I have no clue. All I'm
Okay.
gonna say is this. From my mediocre understanding, it's about the stars aligning. That's
Hmm.
about all I could tell you. I don't know much about it. I've known people who were heavy, heavy, heavy into it, but I've never dove into it, like took a daily course or reading on it. I couldn't even tell you, man. I couldn't even tell you.
Okay.
I'm a novice for sure.
Facts. All right, Trisha Michelle, what about you? You know anything about astrology?
Uh, no. So I
Come on,
really,
let it out.
I'm not a like. I know my sign. I don't know dates and stuff for everybody and all this other stuff. I know it has to do with the stars and the horizon and the moon and the all this other junk that all factors into character traits within the certain dates of which you were born. But outside of that, who knows? I don't. That's all I
Okay.
know.
I don't know.
All right, well, I'm with y'all. Like before I went and did my research and did my Googles, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm,
Like
hmm.
I had no idea what it really meant. I just know it had something to do with the stars and the sun, the moon, and the stars and all that
I
good
give
stuff that
you
people talk about.
like that after seven song, Ken. I give you the sun, the moon, the wind, the stars, and the mountain, like that.
Yeah, some it had to do with all that. But okay, so here's the definition of astrology. Now, this is
Okay.
going to be where the education starts for a lot of people. Astrology is the study of movements and relative positions of celestial bodies, meaning the stars, the planets and things out there.
Constellations and all
Yeah,
of that, right?
celestial bodies interpreted as having an influence on human affairs and the natural world. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what astrology is, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's not your zodiac sign though. So see,
Nope.
Right.
zodiac sign is a part of astrology. So astrology is the main thing, but the zodiac sign is a part of that, right?
Yeah.
So when we break it down to the zodiac sign, the zodiacs those what is a zodiac? So a zodiac is a belt-shaped region of the sky that expands approximately 8 degrees north, 8 degrees south, celestial latitude of the ecliptic, which is an apparent path of the sun across the celestial sphere. So basically, that's talking about basically the sun's rotation, right? The sun rotating around, and that's what they base this stuff off of, in the orbital path of the moon and the major planets and how things move around, right?
Right.
So it's a lot. It's a lot. It's
Yeah,
a
it's
a
deep.
yeah. It's a
Man,
lot
I
to
can't
break.
even go to the moons. How am I supposed to know?
I mean, some people say it doesn't exist. Some people say it does. Some people say, it's not that far. Some people say it's really far. So, unless you've been, or like, it's a lot of stuff that exists in this world that we can see, but
Right.
Aliens.
we don't know. We don't know all the details behind it, right? We just know what
Right.
they tell us.
Yeah.
We just know what they tell us. It's a lot of things that we do in life that's just blind faith, right? We just
Facts,
believe
facts.
it because they said it. So, hey,
So who created astrology?
well,
I mean, it's mentioned in scripture. So there's
But for us
another.
to take it into signs that we're all identified as.
well,
That's
it,
tough. I don't know who started it. I know it is mentioned in scriptural, and I know from a scriptural standpoint, a lot of people, a lot of believers consider it a form of witchcraft. So I don't know. I can't speak to either way because I'm a novice in the whole concept. I've never really studied it.
Yeah.
So, but I've had believers who mention that concept that they believe it's a form of witchcraft because in scripture you see most of the witches using astrology. It's like the tracking thing that they use. So I mean, it's a tough subject, but we're gonna break it down. We're gonna look at it. We're gonna look at
okay.
all of it.
So what you're saying is a tracking thing. So if it's witchcraft, now I'm just playing, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Both sides here. So if that's witchcraft, so you mean to tell me that if when they had a sundial would be considered witchcraft to some people, right?
Yes, and
Because
some people do, and that's where the understanding is skewed at because Negroes don't like to read, fam. Like they don't read that much, so you know what I'm saying. So that's the hard part because you got some people who literally believe one particular way. It's like, yo, like you do realize, like the sundial, like that's all they had back then. That's
Right.
was their tracking system. Like they didn't have the books or the systems and the stuff that we have nowadays. This is all that they had to give them direction by looking at the stars. Like I think that's super intelligent, but
well,
somebody else could look at it a different way.
well, that you're saying that is this. I mean, when you look at astrology, it's kind of the same,
Right.
right? If you think about when this came about, when they were using this, because this came about a long time ago. Like this
Right.
was, what I'm saying, predating a lot of stuff, and what I'm saying, like during the Bible days, like when they were using this type of stuff. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So this was, a lot of times they used the sun and the stars and all that stuff as a roadmap of how to get places, how to remember. In the Bible, they even talk about, what I'm saying, what is the North Star? So, I mean, so a lot of this stuff is tied into different things, but I think for me, and we're gonna get into this a little bit more. The weight in which a lot of people put on it now when selecting who to date and who not to date. I think that's where the little sketchiness come in now, because I'm like, man, I know you can use it as a part of it, I guess, if you would like to do that. But I think people put too much weight on it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And I think people are really starting to choose their mate based on this. And
Compatibility of the signs.
You
yeah, I
messing
don't
some
know.
dope people. I'm trying to tell you because you believe in
Yeah.
certain stuff. You think you ain't supposed to be dating a Taurus, or you don't like Tauruses, or you don't like this. And I'd be like, yo, like I grew up in a house full of Tauruses, and they looked out for you, boy, like they was like I was a champ. So you can't
Yeah.
make me hate a Taurus. You get what I'm saying? Because my brother's one, my mom was one, my cousin Philip was one. Like you just go down this list, and that's all I was around. So it's weird because you do have people who say, Scorpio shouldn't hang with Tauruses. Y'all ain't compatible. I'm like, every last one I know I was compatible with. So I'm like, yeah.
All right, so let's jump into we covered astrology, the main topic, right?
Yeah.
And then it breaks down into zodiac signs, which we told you what a zodiac was. So
Right.
the signs piece of it, which everybody is familiar with, is the astrological signs, and there are 12 of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they are broken down into 30-degree sectors that make up the Earth's 360-degree orbit around
Mm-hmm.
the sun, right? So it's a lot of math involved. It's
That
a
is
lot.
kind of
Right.
cool.
Right.
It's a lot.
Somebody took
Did you
some
notice?
time to, like, the math was mathing for whoever did this.
Yeah. So it's about, you know what I'm saying, the math involved in it as well. So this says the signs are numbered from the first day of spring, which is known as the first point of Aries. So Aries is the first
Oh,
in the
they leading the
group.
way, huh?
Yeah, Aries is the first in the grouping. Let me pull out my graphics here. Boom.
All right.
So Aries is the first in the grouping. Let me flip to another one. That's a little
There we
hard to
go.
see. All right, so that's breakdown. Let's go back to this one. So Aries is the first in that group, right?
Mm-hmm.
So and then they go around from that point. Let me tell you what order they go in. So you got Aries, and then you got Taurus, and then you got Gemini, and then you got Cancer, and then you got Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and then it ends with Pisces because Pisces season is right before Aries. So Pisces closes it out, Aries starts it up.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know any of that.
Me neither.
I've seen this stuff, you know what I'm saying, like on stuff before, like and in that order, but I didn't know that it was in an order for that reason. So
Right.
that shed a little light on it for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's and that's known as the spring equinox when that starts. So it again goes with the moon and the positioning of the moon and the stars, and gave you the astrological signs. So the zodiac year starts with that spring equinox, and the signs are based on the months for us, right? So that's where we come in and we say, okay, we're born, whatever your birthday is. You can look at the little chart and say, okay, my birthday falls here. That means I'm a Benji's a Scorpio. We know Benji's
Right.
a Scorpio.
Right.
Benji's got a very, very memorable birthday because he's born on Halloween.
Halloween. But see, here's
Yeah.
the weird part. There are some people who will tell you I ain't a Scorpio because my birthday is on October 31st. They say it's supposed to start in November. And I'd be like, man,
Well,
I don't know.
according to this chart, Scorpio is October 23rd
Yeah.
through November 21st.
Right.
Mhm.
So that's what Scorpio. But in my research, I did find that a few years ago they tried to start a new
Mhm.
listing of
Of
zodiac
Zodiac
signs,
Date
signs.
range and stuff.
Right.
and it shifted everything, and people were up in arms because people who have been one sign their whole life, you know,
We're
was
about to be pissed off. Be like,
was
I've been
like,
representing Leo
yeah,
all my life, and now
they
I'm
got
about
all
to be
these
something
Leo
else.
shirts and Leo hats and apparel, and
They got it tattooed.
yeah, they got it tattooed. And yeah, they were gonna be disappointed because it was not the same. But in my research, NASA vetoed that and said, nah, that ain't
You
what
got
it
wrong.
is. We're gonna keep it the way we've been rocking with it, and that's the way it is. So the 12 signs are still the way they are, and there's no shift occurred according to NASA. So
Okay.
this the
Now,
one we gonna
you-
go with.
The
This is the one.
astrophysics said no.
He's
we
still a
ain't
Scorpio.
doing this.
He's still a
Yeah,
Scorpio. Don't
still
worry.
a Scorpio. Trish Michelle, when's your birthday?
October 14th, in about 2 weeks and a couple days. I'm a Libra.
Oh, yeah, she's a Libra. Okay, so we got
birthday.
Scorpio, Libra. My birthday is March 14th, so I'm a Pisces.
Mm-hmm.
So keep those in mind. We're going to talk about our own stuff because I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to start it off. We're going to go to Trish Michelle. But like for me, I ain't gonna lie to you. I never believed in this stuff. I mean, no, at no time in life
Right.
did I ever believe in any of this stuff. It didn't have anything to do with my religious beliefs or anything. I just didn't see anything tangible. It was like anything else in life, just chance. That's the way it
Right.
seemed by me. Sometimes things would line up with something you read, and you'd be like, "Oh, okay," and then other times it'd be way off, and you'd be
Way
like,
off.
"Oh man." So, but what I also discovered is, when you dive deeper into some of this stuff, and we'll take a little deeper dive into some of the information, these the 12 signs are broken down into other parts. So it's other stuff that you have to consider that sometimes I think when you're reading this stuff that other people don't tie
They
into.
don't even see it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So Tristan Michelle, what about you? Is this something you grew up believing, or if it's just something like you just was like, it's just there?
No, I didn't grow up believing it. I really didn't even know too much about what months and dates were what signs. I didn't even know all the signs. Like I probably just learned what they all are maybe like 2 years ago. Like,
Okay.
and then I've always known I'm a Libra, but it's like you said, you'll read things or see something, yes, it aligns, but no, it doesn't, or whatever. And I mean, you like you said, you're gonna touch on. I figured out sort of why some stuff according to astrology and all that stuff, why something may you're a Libra and here's a Libra and this Libra's like, yeah, that's me, and this Libra's like, no, it's not. And it's because there's different moons and suns and risings and all this other junk that factors into this person and that person. So
Yeah.
you could be a Libra with Gemini traits and stuff like that. And so I don't know. I'm like, that's just too deep for me, and it does not
Right.
factor my life. Like,
Right.
so yeah, I've never. I'm a Libra though. I just, I'm a rep my Libra sign, but it don't run my life.
It sounds like cybersecurity to me, always changing. Like every time you see something, it's a new code to it. I'm like, man, that's what it sounds like to me. So
It's people that literally will go and read what your sign says. They'll go and be like, "Yep, I knew it. I know everything I need to know about you." And you like,
okay.
or at least I'm like, I don't, whatever.
and you know what? That could be a blessing for you because some of these folks, yeah, they need to go
Hey, I don't.
on
Hey,
and sidestep. Yeah, because they
you
be a
don't. You
little.
don't choose me. It wasn't meant to be.
Oh, look at her dropping bars. Look at her with the bar. Y'all tell me it ain't meant to be. You know what I'm saying?
I ain't mad at it. You know what I'm saying?
Already. Benji, talk to us, man. What's your sign? We know.
I'm
Okay,
a-
my bad. We know. I'm gonna let you say it though. I'm gonna let you say it.
I'm called a Scorpio, but I'm gonna be honest with you. Like half the stuff people because of course when you're in the dating world, of course, praise God, no longer in that space. When you're in that space, you meet people who base things off of the sign that they read concerning you, and I've heard it like all the time. Just to be transparent for the show, the first thing you hear is all Scorpios are freaks. And I'll be like, so you done met all Scorpios? Like, you know the
I know.
deal?
I
Like,
hate that whole generalized.
yeah, it's like it's generalized, and you get this one concept about a person, and then it's like, well, I mean, I'm sorry, that ain't me. If a person approaches me with uh astrology concepts, I instantly know I ain't gonna fool with them. That's I did that like when I was dating, so that was a no-go for me. And then you got women who get into the crystals and all that type of stuff. Yeah, man, I ain't got time for it. I'm good.
Crystals are
Hey man,
pretty,
yeah, it's a lot to digest, man, and a lot of that stuff, like the crystal, even the crystal stuff.
yeah.
From my understanding, it ties into this somehow,
Yes.
or whatever. So like I said again, we're not knocking anybody out there. We're novice. We're actually going to find somebody who is an expert in this, and we
Right.
will bring them back to the show. So
Right.
we can have them break it down and talk to you all about it. We
Yeah.
ain't trying to sell nobody on nothing. We just trying to educate folks, you know what I'm
Facts.
saying? Because one thing about us is we've adapted a style where we're not afraid to tackle things, even if we're not a proponent of it, even if we're
Right.
not, you know what I'm saying, somebody who's pro this. but
Right.
we like to allow people to talk, you know what I'm saying, and let us know
Be
their side
free.
of the story.
Express
Yeah,
yourself. Right.
well, let us know their side of the story, because there's a lot of things out there that are, people that are misunderstood and things that are misunderstood simply because people are uneducated about it.
Right.
So,
Right.
growing up,
You might not like beer. I may like it, but if you own Bud Light, I want you on the show because I want to know about, you know what I'm saying? Bud Light, even though I
well,
don't
we
like it.
well, we just don't want to be in that frame of, well, my grandma them said don't do it, so I'm not gonna do it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Some stuff, a lot of people say, well, there's a reason why they tell you not to do that. But, it's ways to figure it out, right? To
Right.
make it concrete for you, the reason why it's not okay to do this, or the reason why they told you not to do this. So,
Right.
what I'm
A lot of
saying?
people don't believe in astrology, and it's like if you're asking why,
They don't know.
there's, I mean, so it's like, oh, that's fine, but why not? Or why do you? And this
Right.
is the purpose of this. This is education. Why or why not? Why? What do you know? What don't you know? Whatever the case may be that you pull back from this, it has nothing to do with knocking anybody that believes in astrology and they
Yeah.
run their whole little, thing
Right.
around it. That's cool. And I mean, I do find some aspects of it to be real deep and interesting, because I just really just want to know who really took this deep dive and all this to make this
Right.
stuff align
Like,
like
who
this.
created this joke?
Like, so
Right.
to me, that part of it is like, it's a little mind blowing, and it's a lot more to it than just people going to go see what their traits are. So
Right.
when things get deeper, it's interesting. So open up a book or open up the YouTube channel to us.
Yeah.
And you'll find out.
Facts. All right. So these 12 signs are broken down into 4 elements, right? And we already know what the 4 elements are. We grew up on Captain Planet.
Why was that what popped in my
That's the
head?
first thing we thought of. Right.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? We grew up on Captain Planet, so we got fire, earth, air, and water. So, into those 4 elements, you know what I'm saying, then the things are broken down even further. So let me pop that little graphic up. All right, so the fire signs are Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, and they're generalized here as having strong emotion, being enthusiastic, passionate, temperamental, achiever, and interesting.
Now, here's the part that trips. Like, I have strong emotions.
What? There's a reason for that. Why you can
Right.
identify with some things on the other
end.
Because when you go plug in, you have to go plug in like your date of birth, where you were born, the time you were born, or like all this stuff, and then it brings up you're a Scorpio, but your moon rising is a Leo and setting is a Gemini and a Cancer. This sun, right, like all this stuff. So then your traits that factor in that identify with other signs are because of that. Because you're a Scorpio that has a lot of Gemini traits or whatever. And
Right.
that is supposed to be why you can still identify with other things on other signs.
I mean, I believe you 100%. I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, I'm an achiever.
I learned that this year.
Go on with your bag. Go on and flex. Go on and put your muscles up.
No, they're there.
All right, so let's go to the next one. This is, I'm saying, well, me and Benji fall into this group. The water signs, Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. Refreshing, charming, mysterious, private, sensitive, and emotional. Benji, does that apply?
I will say I'm charming. That's a given. I don't know about emotional though, because I don't have no emotions a lot of times. Like I'm really reserved. Like I don't know if it's meaning like over emotional, but like coming from where I come from, I was taught not to be in your feelings, not to show a lot of emotion, or be in your emotions. So I can't say that that's factual. I will say charming, because I can be very charming. That's
on the list, because all he heard was charming. Go
Well,
back.
well,
I mean, hold on.
Hold on. Here's my
It
question.
says sensitive too, right?
But here's my question though. See, he's telling us how he views it, but I'll be interested to see if somebody else will have a different view from the outside, because
Right.
we see ourselves one way, but somebody else could look at this
Anybody in the
list,
comments about Benji?
look at this list and say, no, he hit all 4 of those. He all of those.
I don't know if my people showed up, but you look, I'm honest about
Right.
myself. Don't get to that Libra, I'll tell you.
I'm okay. Here's what I'm gonna do. She's having a counseling session right now, but I'm gonna take that list, Ken. Give me that list, and I'm gonna ask her.
Yeah,
and we're gonna post it in the comment.
all right, we definitely do that because that's funny. But I just thought about that, man, because we're talking about it from our standpoint, but I guarantee you some other people would disagree and say, yeah, some of these boxes we actually do check, right?
Okay.
All right, so the Earth side.
So hold on, Ken. No.
You got to go back about you. Absolutely,
yes,
absolutely.
Hold on, no, we ain't finna let you dance off of this. You're finna ask all the questions.
You hear the car brakes?
Do any of these 6 apply to you? Now I know you're private. That one you can't deny. Can't deny that one at all. Mysterious. Talk to us.
Well, for me, I think I can be all 6 of them. It just depends on when.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I mean, to be honest with you, just looking at this whole list, I think I could be any of these at any given time. I mean, you know, some people might not have that, but I think me personally, I'm just gonna say, you know, I might hit those 6, but it's stuff in the previous list that I feel like I fall into some of those categories, and the other list we'll get to. I feel like I fall into some of those categories. So, you know, but again, it's other pieces to this as well, like Trisha Michelle mentioned earlier, you know, the time you were born and things like that. Because can you imagine somebody who got that weirdness of they're technically born at maybe 12 midnight on this date, and this, you know, the date between 2 different signs, it's like, then I mean, I understand after midnight is after midnight, but I mean,
technically in Alaska it would be like 11 o'clock.
That's another thing. Time zone.
But that's why they got where are you born at? Like, that's in there. Like, where? Not only time, where?
Yeah, because like I said, you could be in a whole nother time zone, and some of these time zones is almost 2 days ahead. 2 days ahead of the date we got.
So what if I was in the Philippines? Oh no, man. I'm just saying. I don't know. It's skepticism.
I was in Japan, I'm still a Libra.
All right. Well, we get into that. We get into that. All right. So y'all, they tried to say I was trying to skate. I wasn't trying to skate. You know what I'm saying? They asked the questions, I answered them. That's just how it go.
Right.
All right. So we got Earth next. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. We got dependable, grounded, reliable, materialistic, loyal, and practical.
Now I can say my brother, my cousin Philip, and my mama were all 6 of those, especially materialistic.
Them yet or something.
Huh?
I said maybe my son just ain't developed them yet. He materialistic though.
Well, that could be quite true because he's still very young.
Right.
You know, so you know that could be another piece of it. Like some of this stuff you haven't developed them yet because you haven't gotten to a certain point in your life, and maybe as you grow older, you check more of these boxes off, right?
Yeah.
So I guess that could be a piece of it. It's so many moving parts to this, man.
Right.
So
right.
Okay, yeah. So it's at the very least, this is entertaining for sure.
Any Tauruses, if you're a Taurus and you're in this thing,
let us know.
Drop in the comment section. Let us
know if it's bull crap or it's you.
Yes. Is this you or what? What's going on?
All right, Brian Slack Ellison. Shout out to Brian. He said Cancer is the most loving sign in the zodiac chart. I don't know no Cancers right off, so I do.
Know.
Lenise?
Yeah,
oh, okay.
Since that's what you call her every time, but that's her middle name.
I mean,
but
I just call her Love Lenise. I mean,
she's
what's going on, Lenise?
Cancer, and because they're, I mean, I'm not gonna speak to the sign. I'm gonna just speak to her. Do I know any other Cancers? No.
I'm pretty sure we all do. We just probably can't recall.
I probably do, but she's very in tune with like emotionally, like she's like, so therefore when she's involved emotionally with somebody like that in any way, friendship, whatever, like it's deep. because like she really takes on and really like puts it all in. So I would say that they probably love I wouldn't say the most. I don't know who's the most, but it gets deep for them for sure.
Because I've heard that they cry babies.
They're very in tune with their emotion.
They are emotional.
They're tapped in with the emotions. Because I don't want to say, because you hear emotional and you think negative, you know?
Not always. But
yes. But a lot of the world has been taught that you're an emotional person. So the first thing they think is you're talking mess. And it's like, no, but they are very, very emotional beings. And in a good, bad, whichever way, but they are.
That's a good point.
Oh, you know what? My dad and my sister is a little Cancer.
How in the world can you forget about them?
But that's a good point, though, that you just made, that, emotion, when people say emotional, that always has had a negative connotation to it, right? And it doesn't necessarily have to be negative, because if love is an emotion,
right?
You know what I'm saying? So if I'm emotional, I'm emotional with love. That's a positive thing, right?
Right.
So I mean, yeah, that's a good point. I like that. I really like that. Something I hadn't even thought about.
Brian said we are crybabies when we broke.
That's any sign.
Cancer?
That's a lot of signs. That's a lot of signs.
Anybody.
Right.
It depends on how broke you are.
Who said who checked their account and said, yeah.
If I'm broke, you better believe I'm depressed.
Hey, look at that account. It say negative $12. Yes.
Let me see if anything else come out.
Head hung down like your favorite girl left you. Boy, I can tell you that.
Oh, man.
Being broke ain't no joke. That's a curse.
Nah, man. Dang, man. Yeah, so okay. So let's hit this last list. All right, so we got the earth sign. We talked about that. So the last one is air. So Trisha Michelle falls in this one. We got Aquarius, Gemini, Libra. Powerful, creativity, fun, ideas, adventurous, exciting.
Now we know she's powerful because she liked to fight.
Oh wow!
No, so I'm gonna speak to that powerful, because it's not just some type of physical. Like I have the ability to command the room, or like my feeling or my emotions. If I'm upset and I ain't even really got to speak, you're gonna feel it. Like you're gonna know still. Like it kind of it's a little bit like
she telling you gonna feel her.
You gonna know. And it's like I'm not even really like I ain't even came off and said what I had to say. Like, but it's and then at the same time, like I can't be no regular worker. I gotta be the boss. I gotta I gotta run shit, you know.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. That's ambitious. That's all of that wrapped in one.
But the other stuff, I mean, y'all see, I'm traveling. I'm about to have some fun. I will go hiking. I'll go do this. I'll go do that. We can have some adventures. I don't know if it just has to do with the Libra sign and whatnot, but creativity. I can draw. I paint. I can play the piano. I play the guitar. So.
I mean, but I am concerned that you lumped in there with Geminis. They have about 600 personalities.
You know, the only person that can really, really, so they say, really get along with Geminis like that is me.
I have no problem getting along with any sign from my recollection, but I can tell you that Geminis, when I was growing up and I heard that the Gemini twins, and it means they have two personalities, that they two different people. Like, I ain't lying, that's been consistent because
you're like, yeah, that's consistent.
Hey, sure. The Geminis I know, they be flopping back and forth. Yeah, man.
He's a Gemini. But the same thing. So it's like I call myself the introverted extrovert because it's like I'm an extrovert. But then like leave me alone. Like he's the same. Right. Like, but his is it's hit and miss and win. Me, I'm very vocal about it. Whatever. Like I'm turned up. Now leave me alone. But his is just like in that same day he'll be like, I'll be like, okay, Gemini.
Right.
Like I'll be back later. Like.
But I ain't gonna lie though, when you put it in that context, and I got a little bit of that in me too. Some days I be like,
everybody.
No, I'm the same way too. I mean, everybody but I push people away with don't bother me. So I do it in a kind of stubborn type of way. Like, don't ask me anything, don't say anything. So like I don't get it, but I've done that. I'm a hermit most of the time. I like to chill by myself. So
I just kind of just like quiet, peace. I don't want to answer my text. I don't want to answer my phone. I don't want to.
Right.
It happens.
Spreading myself thin just don't always sit right with me, especially around everybody. Now,
I feel like it's like a self-care. Regenerating.
I agree.
Like I feel like I'm regenerating for all the people that I done for days because we people.
Right.
And I need it back.
And we always, if you're a giver, if you're that type and you're always giving out, yeah, you need to sit back and replenish yourself because people pull on you a lot and they take a lot from
you. Yeah. And then that goes from friends, the family, the kids to it's everywhere.
Oh yeah, especially the Negroes. Yeah.
When you talk about that in that context, you got to put it into the picture sense of, you know what I'm saying, you're a vessel. You're pouring into other people, and eventually that vessel is going to be empty.
Yeah,
and you're going to have to fill it back up. So, you know what I'm saying, you can't keep pouring into people without somebody pouring into you. And that's what happens to a lot of people. Nobody's pouring into you, so you run out of juice.
That's just fact.
And then sometimes you just people so well that people don't get it. So
yeah, they don't think you have a down. They don't think you're supposed to have a downtime or a down moment.
And so
because you do it so well. Yeah.
So it happens.
In the words of the great poet Frederick Gibbs, people don't know how hard you ride for them until you park it.
Facts.
Facts. All right. Hey man, when he said that in that song, it was a bar. I was like, I like that. I like that. I like that a lot.
I just want. Is there any other Libras in the comments? Where y'all at?
Yeah, Libras pop up in the comments.
Pop up.
And don't be putting them signs and stuff like that because I'm not looking back and forth at your sign. Put the word.
Yeah,
put Libra.
I don't know them all either.
Yeah, put Libra. We don't know what the signs are. Right?
I just know mine.
I'm not looking at the chart and all that. Yeah, just
write it out, please.
Just write it out.
Like a little M, and that's it. Like it's
what
an
is
M.
that?
I don't even know what the M means.
Oh, that's a Scorpio, right?
Yeah, the M. Yeah. You know that's it with the point at the end.
I just know a Virgo because Beyonce and it's like everywhere right now. That's all I know.
Yeah, Beyonce, shout out to the people who went to the Beyonce concerts, you know what I'm saying, the Beyonce tour, you know what I'm saying, with your fall outfits on. Y'all was looking amazing. That's what's up.
Oh man, they had a bunch of fall outfits out there too. Somebody did a whole comedy skit on the fall outfit.
Like they went all out.
Hey, some people was really going all out. I ain't gonna hate, you know what I'm saying? They had fun, they did their thing, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to them.
I think it was a bunch of Geminis out there. So I
say, man, don't do that. All right. So we got an interesting comment from Cephas Larkin, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And I'm gonna read this out. He said astrology is based on the misunderstanding of the universe. Most of us aren't born under our astrological constellation. And in the future, all of the constellation in the night sky will be totally different. See what I'm saying? Like, there is no rhyme or reason for somebody to understand a lot of this stuff unless you are studying it, unless you are astute in it, unless you are somebody who is keeping abreast of the changes that are going on. You're just going to be lost in the sauce, right?
Right.
Because don't they got like leap year to like reset and balance out the stuff with all that? So then the dates really matter. Are they matching? Because they going to like, who's calculating that?
And because we spring forward and fall back, so
y'all have the hours, the time frames. Is that really right?
I mean, I listen. I don't know. I know I did go to a shout out to the baby girl. Went to her you know, what would they call that thing? The thing where you get under the tent and they got the whole moon, the stars, the Jupiter, and all that stuff. You got to sit under the tent and watch this thing. It's too vast, man. The constellations, the how big the moon is, how big the sun is, the biggest star, like 90. What is it? Sun is like It gives you a visual, and you're sitting in this thing, and it shows you we're 96 million miles away from the sun. And I'm like, how in the world did our ancestors figure this thing out? Because it's vast, it's crazy. So whoever did it, shout out to them. I don't understand it. So
Cephas Larkin says it's a planetarium.
Right. There we go. That's what it was.
Yeah. So I mean, that's interesting, man. And then when you get to just to be outside, and I tell my kids all the time, man. Growing up in the city, you're robbed of, what I'm saying, the ability to walk outside and look up in the night sky and see, clearly the stars, clearly the moon,
That's true.
because we got a lot of lights and stuff around here that mess up the reflection and all that stuff. But when you go out into the country and it's dark, like
Hmm.
can't see your hand in front of your face dark, the sky looks amazing, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And you can see everything clearly. So, and sometimes, growing up, the moon would be huge in the sky, and
Hmm.
people would say, well, when it's a full moon, all this crazy stuff starts happening, and there's a
Mhm.
lot of stuff that went on with the moon and the stars
Yeah.
and eclipse. The day the eclipse happens, they say crazy stuff happens. So I never understood any of that.
Well, in
Yeah.
Under the Cherry Moon, Prince movie, he said it's a full moon and I'm a werewolf. So he told her to, you kiss my behind. So he said it in other words. But I'm just saying, when the moon is out, folks be folks
Mhm.
folks be
And isn't
basing
there like
stuff off a
different?
lot of stuff.
Isn't there like different auras from the moon or something? People like, oh, the moon something. So I'm a stay to myself these next couple weeks. It's not. It's really there's a bunch involved in this, and Mr. Cephas dude seems like he a little he knows
You
something.
know. Come on,
Yeah,
Cephas, talk to us.
I know what you're talking about. Like when people be like talking about the Mercury is in
Yeah,
retrograde and
the Mercury grade and all that, and I'm always
in
like, what is
retrograde.
that?
I'm like, I don't know, man.
Like,
I
where
don't
did
know
that?
none
I'd
of that
never heard of
stuff.
that until the past till pandemic,
I gotta
and
go. I gotta go to the grocery store, so Mercury gonna have to wait because I'm leaving the house.
yes, I'm like,
Yeah.
what do I do during this time? Or there, things are gonna be this, so you might be real emotional and dealing with a lot during this Mercury grade and stick to yourself. And I'm like, what?
The retro Mercury. Hold on. Retro Mercury
Mercury.
grade, whatever
Oh
it's called.
man.
Listen, man. Listen, man. Women sometimes they go all in with it. So one girl believed that she was being cleansed because she was in her bathtub during the retro
The
Mercury in
Mercury.
retrograde.
The
whatever you
Mercury
want to call it.
retrograde.
I was like, she was in the bath in the bubbles, and I'm like, is that supposed to be? This is gonna cleanse me, and I'm like, so this is gonna cleanse you at 12 o'clock at night if you did it this. Like people go all out with it, man. Like they have the concepts, and I'm like,
It's not the sun.
She still ain't changed though. She's still wild as
As
hell
we say,
though.
it's not the sun or the moon. It's
Maybe
them
the
bubbles. It's them bubbles in that Bath and Body Works you got that's
maybe
gonna
the
cleanse
inside
her.
cleans her out.
Right. I'm
Mm.
like,
Yeah.
girl, you need an exorcism. Like
Oh wow.
You said some vinegar and some bleach.
Ooh.
I mean, yeah.
Yeesh.
Yeah, we know what the vinegar do, but I don't know about putting a couple
Might need a
drops
little.
of bleach in.
I don't know.
It's
I
gonna
mean,
be tight. It's gonna be tight, but she gonna be dead. Oh man. Hey, we're gonna get off of that.
I'm-
We gonna
she gonna be
cruise all the way for that one.
she gonna be squeaking, huh?
Hey, yo, we gonna mosey on from that one. All right. So all right, and let's hop back to the four elements. And I was talking about the chart we showed with the fire, earth, air, and water. And also, it says those four are divided up into three parts, and those three parts are called decans. And I'm not gonna go into detail from that point. You can look it up, decans, DECANS,
Mhm.
and that all that does is it further breaks down the zodiac signs, right? So that,
Decans.
yeah, that might, it's kind of smell like it kind of spell like pecans or pecans, but
See
it's
that
with a D.
the
So,
struggle. Pecan.
but yeah, so whatever it is, y'all look it up. You know what I'm saying, and it's gonna lead you down a rabbit hole. I'm gonna tell you that.
They
It's gonna lead you
always
down a
do.
rabbit hole. It's gonna lead you down a Google hole, and you're gonna start seeing all this information. So it's up to you to follow the path. I'm not
Yeah.
going any further. I saw the information and I clicked the link and saw all the other stuff. I'm like, nah, I'm good
Too
on
much,
that.
huh?
Yeah, I'm good on that. I don't care that much to read into it like that. but
Yeah.
there's more information that provides, so that might be the missing pieces to what we're trying to understand as well, on that part. So after all the information that we just gave you, there's another piece that people often hear, and it's called a horoscope.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh
the
yeah.
horoscope is a forecast of a person's future. So this is where it gets dicey for a lot of people, because a lot of people think anytime you have anything trying to tell your future and all this stuff, it's, what I'm saying, it's considered witchcraft,
Voodoo,
demonic,
yeah.
Yeah.
all this stuff. So typically it includes a delineation of character and circumstances based on the relative positions of the stars and the planets at the time of a person's birth. So that's where the horoscope comes in. So
Sound like a prophet to me.
it encompasses everything we talked about, but it breaks it down, like Trish Michelle said earlier, to the time of that person's birth.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So in order to get this information, you gotta know what time you were born. Some of you all not gonna have that information, sadly. But you know what I'm saying? Some of us have birth certificates and all this stuff that we have access to, and it's got the correct information on it. If you care to look, you can go look at the time and you can look it up and you can see if it lines up. But at the end of the day, it's just information.
Yeah.
I can't see anybody basing their entire existence on this, what I'm saying, this concept of astrology. I just can't
There's
see
people
it.
that do.
It's people that do though. Like it's tough. Like they base their dating life around it. They base their daily habits around it.
Mhm.
And
They
if
get up
it
and
don't
read
go
their
that way,
daily.
yeah, like it's daily. They read it 2 or 3 times a day. I once knew a lady who was heavy into it, and I can't lie to you, she gave me witch vibes, even though I didn't know what a witch was. Like it was like, yo, like she just fit the description, and she
Yeah.
always was into astrology, and it was horoscopes and all of that types of stuff, and it was just weird. I can't lie to you. It was crazy. I still remember the lady to this day. She was heavily jealous of me for whatever reason, but she also tried to be like a minister, and nobody would accept her, like because she was heavy into astrology, so
Yeah.
horoscopes stuff like
I
that. So it
think
was tough.
I think that's the part where I've seen like pages try to add me or whatever, and I always go look and see whoever adds me, and I'll see that they're into astrology or something, but then I see they're into the horoscope aspect of it a lot more of the telling your future and and then I see just a little bit more that looks a little sketchy to me, that looks a little on the other side of the spectrum. So then I'm like, you're scaring me.
Right.
Like I just don't, it's kind of like not knocking them, but I just want to make sure that I got God's grace over here. So
Right,
like
because you'd be like,
it
I
just
don't
looks
need you
like they're playing with
interjecting no
something.
weird thoughts, right?
It just looks like the kind of walking the fine line when they start getting over into the futuristic telling and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
I don't know that part. The horoscope does get a little iffy.
Yeah. Horoscopes, palm reading. I'm not rocking with none of that
Yeah, I
stuff.
ain't
I
Yeah.
feeling it.
mean,
I ain't feeling it.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like
I don't need you
I
to read my palm. Like I'm straight. You'll literally have people walk up to you and they want to see your hand. They literally base everything off
Off the
of
lines on
the
your hand.
palm reading the line in your
Your hand
hand.
just look ashy to me.
Right, like, oh, you're gonna live for a long time, or oh, and I'm like, oh, your signs on your hand means you're gonna have a lot of money,
Now
and
I'm gonna
that
start
just
doing that.
seems
$20.
that just seems vague to me. You get what I'm saying? Like, because you can walk
I'm
up
gonna
to
show you a
anybody
line
and
on
be
my
like, I can
hand.
get some
You're gonna
money.
see a line on my hand real close. It's gonna be on the palm of your in the side of your face. Pow. If you don't get out of my face, man.
Right. And it's people who believe in it wholeheartedly. Again, I ain't that guy. Like I don't know. I can't I ain't gonna, but I ain't just gonna let you sit down and just kind of, you know what I'm saying, interject all of your thoughts on me without me asking some of my own questions. You get what I'm saying? Like I'm just not that type of dude.
A
So
healthy conversation. Yeah.
right. Right.
Yeah. Conversation is cool, but in the words of my pop, shout out to my OG. If it smells weird or if it feels weird, get out of there.
Yeah, I'm gone. Yeah.
Some stuff I gotta just.
Hey, facts. All
Right.
right. So let me ask you all this. Tristan Michelle, I'm gonna start with you. Do you feel like people rely too heavily on the zodiac signs to determine their compatibility, or not enough?
I believe that more so now than ever. Yes, they've gotten into it a whole lot more. Society for sure, and then with these numbers, 1111, and all, like they just really kind of drew away from God, and then they base all of it around the horoscopes and zodiac signs.
Right.
I've seen a lot of people that literally will meet someone and go Google everything they can about that sign. So at that point, they know the person. Versus go look at the photos they tagged it on their social media. That'll tell you something
Right.
about it.
Or have a conversation with them.
Or have a conversation. But if you want to, but they really will be like, I'm not dating like no Taurus ever, and this and that. I'm not compatible with this, so I'm never. If I see a Pisces, they'll be like, oh, I'm good. I've literally seen it happen in person. Asked the sign, heard the sign, said peace out, and I'm just like,
oh,
so
right.
yeah. But and I hear it so much more now. So many more people are into it. Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so do you think that you mentioned, a lot of people, kind of transition from God, and then some of these people start relying heavily on the zodiac sign. Do you think the two can coexist?
Mm, I think you can have knowledge about it, but you should never rely on anything beyond God.
So you
Like,
so you can't so you can't be at home saying, God, please send me a Libra. You
no,
know what I'm
he gonna
saying?
send you someone that just so happen to be whatever sign he is.
Right.
But he
Right.
might not send you nothing because you too busy worried about these horoscopes.
I
Facts.
So
mean,
and
I'm
these
telling
zodiac
you, I
signs.
guarantee you there's somebody out there who has prayed for a certain
Lord, send me a
sign.
Libra.
Absolutely, I'm sure. And
They probably
they
want a
probably are
Scorpio.
praying for Libras.
They probably
I
want a
But
mean,
Scorpio because
considering they think
nowadays,
we all freaks, I
yeah, because
mean, they
nowadays
probably
that's
do
that's
want
the
one.
thing. Yeah, that's the
that's just
thing
because
now.
Tyrese made a song and then
That
the
is
signs
fact.
love making. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, for the younger generation, yeah. I mean, they've been talking about Scorpio since I
Yeah.
know there used to be a song. Can't remember the name of it right off, but it was from the '70s, and it mentioned Scorpios in there in that same sense. So that stigma has been around for a
For a
long time. I
long
don't know
time.
how long, but it's been around for a long time, and you
Now,
know,
according to my recollection,
Oh
most of the
Lord.
people you run into are freaks. So I don't know. You pray
well,
for.
these
What type of
days,
freak are we? Now you talk about the freaks on the street that didn't hit too many
no,
bumps on their nose.
no,
Now,
No,
no,
no.
no,
We ain't talking
no,
about
no.
I know.
ghouls
I'm
and
just
goblins.
I'm gonna
no.
tell you like this. Let me tell you like this. I had this conversation multiple times in the past couple of weeks. It is apparent to me that the people who are out here dating, I feel sorry for y'all because it's a competition of who can be the freakiest, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's
And
fact.
now if you're not doing certain things, certain stuff that used to be considered taboo is now considered basic.
Basic. Yes.
Mhm.
So it's like, okay, we did all that. So by the time you get into a serious relationship with somebody and you're trying to do something special, ain't nothing special no more because then it did everything before
Right.
y'all
Honestly,
even got to that point. So like, I mean, so looking for a Scorpio is it's I mean, you might as well forget about that. You can get any sign now because they
any
all
sign
freaks.
is doing it. Shoot.
If I was listening to what these little astrology things said, I wouldn't be with my lady right now because we're both Scorpios. So, I mean,
But maybe that work out because if both of y'all was freaky, then the other one like freaky stuff too. So
Right.
it just two
Maybe
freaks.
that's
I mean, I mean,
that's
I
that's enough.
mean,
That's enough. That's enough.
that's enough. That's
Your
enough.
lady gonna bop you.
She.
Yeah,
Hey, but I'm
she
just
must go bop him because he just laughed it off.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Thank you, Patricia. Thank you.
She just said,
Thank you, Patricia. Thank you. I
Oh
appreciate you.
I'm
man.
so done.
Yeah.
All right. So okay. So Benji, we didn't ask you the question. So how do you feel about it? How do you feel? Do you agree with Trisha Michelle that people do, lean too heavily on it?
Oh yeah. Like I said, I've had my run-ins when I was in the dating world. I had my run-in with people who like they have this perception of you based off of what they read in the zodiac sign. It could have either been for that day, it could have either been from last year, it could have whatever. And they will tell you I'm not compatible with you, that type of stuff. And I'm like, again, for me, it was an instant turn off because I'm not into it. So, and I'm, going into the love language concept. I'm the type of cat that wants to spend time. Like I can buy my own gifts, I can do my own thing, whatever, whatever, whatever. Like I want the intimate time with you, right? Because I'm an exclusive kind of cat. And if you basing like our space off of something you read about me, you got to understand me. I'll never allow you to just figure me out like that. Like I don't like being figured out. So if you think you know me, I'm going to adjust on you because I don't want you to know me unless you are one of those people in my space. I want you to know me. And people will literally be like, oh, you this, you that, you that. And I'll be like, no, that's not me. I don't flow like that. So,
Well,
That's the most annoying thing with it, though, sometimes, is the labels from
yes,
the signs that they've went and researched. So now, like, one thing that Libras are, they don't care about nothing. They're
right,
nonchalant, they don't care. So that's, like, I could say probably one of the most frustrating things is because I do, let me say I do, but I
right,
just show it differently. Like, so, like, but it's irritating for some, like, that's because you don't care. And
right,
it's just like, but they will specifically say the Libras don't care about nothing. And it's like,
right.
well, what?
I mean,
well,
I've been accused of that too, but that's from where I grew up, not because that's who I am. I know what it is attributed to. I don't care about a lot of stuff because life taught me that most of the folks you come in contact with are shady, shysty, greedy, grimy. You get what I'm saying? So you don't put yourself out there like that. You know what I'm saying? So,
I not care about things that's worth caring about, but then I
right,
also am very, I'm very logical with my approach on those things. I'm not gonna go off the handle because I care about it a lot. Like,
yeah,
right,
you gotta guard your head and your heart at the same time out here. You know what I'm
right.
saying? Jody Skywalker's in the comments. He said he be lying about his sign. That's another thing. What if somebody you met lied about their sign and you judged them based on the lie that they told, even though that's a whole nother web that's been weaved because they started off telling you a lie about
I'm
something.
like, okay, Jody. So
Yeah,
clearly
you know.
you wanna bump and grind and get on because you must not want her to learn nothing or even know
I
the truth
mean,
about you.
it's called research, right? So like, social media's out there. You have a lot of women that post on that page, I just love Tauruses. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I blah blah blah. If you see her in public, if you meet her, what you gonna tell her? Hey,
I
you
had
know
that
what?
damn Taurus.
Big Taurus energy over here, baby. Big Taurus
Right.
energy over here. You know what I'm saying? Because she said it already.
Especially
Right.
if you're trying to get to the yams.
You know what
I
I'm saying?
mean,
She said it
if
That's
you're gonna
already.
all
base it
Jody
off
out.
of that, I
That's all
mean,
Jody out there doing. I get it. I see it. I see it.
I mean, I'm not just saying him. I'm just
I
saying
know, but he
as
spoke.
a whole, with
hold
social
on,
media,
Joe.
being hold on, with
Go
social
ahead,
media
go ahead.
being like it is, a lot of people give away a lot of information.
Yeah.
So when you see them and when you're around them, you can be whoever this person is that they have said that they built, right? This builder guy, this builder girl that they built in their head that they've told you that they like and they've described to you all these things.
Hmm.
You can accumulate those things and say, you know what, I'm gonna be all those things that she talked about because I like the way she looked, right? So,
Right. Especially
I'm
if
gonna
she's
I'm gonna
doing
be
it
that
on
guy.
social media. Facts.
Facts.
Facts. Facts.
I'm gonna be that
Now,
guy.
what sign is Jody? Jody, drop your sign in this thing so we can look at this chart and say if that's you or not.
Yeah, we can look at it and see which sign. It wasn't no sign on there that said they be lying. I ain't see that.
Like, hold on, they ain't lying.
Yeah, what is Jody's sign? I remember him posting for his birthday, traveling to Miami or something, but I don't remember.
Shout
You
out
got
to
to be
Brian.
optimistic nowadays.
Yeah, shout out to Brian Ellison, man. That sounds nice, man. That's all love, but I heard that it's pissing the dating pool, so you're gonna get some optimistic piss. You know what I'm saying? And
Facts.
it's tough out there,
Yeah, you
man.
got to
So
take risks to get rewards.
yeah.
You got to be
And
open minded.
I mean, to be honest with you, you definitely gotta be optimistic in life in general because it's so much out there to be down about. But man, the fact that people will lie about their sign is amazing, right?
Yeah, that I've never even heard of that.
Right.
I mean, I've heard of it. I've heard that
I haven't.
people used to say they're a Scorpio because of that stigma. So that was an easy thing just to say you're a Scorpio, even if you're not.
Especially if you ran into a chick that was all about them signs. So
you better believe it. And you know what I'm saying? Like Ken said, if she posting all that, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna go on her page, you know what I'm saying, find out what she like. And if we got some compatibility going because I know everything about you from your time.
I've had people come and say their sign, and I'll just be like,
okay,
because I don't know what that means. Like, it didn't just pop in my head like, oh, cool, Taurus. Like, oh, okay, you're a Taurus.
So have you ever used that
line about your sign?
No, because I don't care.
So you've never used it, Benji? You never used
like
zodiac
signs
or horoscopes?
About what I know, but
I've never used it. I never used it because I don't know nothing about it. I don't care what sign you are.
I don't care. I'm sorry, my bad.
I want to know. No, you
both
good.
Y'all said at the same time. Both of y'all don't care.
Like, I don't care because ultimately, at the end of the day, life taught me it's about how you treat me. Like, that's what it boils down to me. I don't care what sign you are. Like, you can be all up in it. It's a turnoff for me. So more than likely, I'm probably ain't gonna be rolling with you. But if you treating, you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't no second-class citizen, Negro. I'm at the top of the food chain. So if you're gonna treat me like I'm bottom of the barrel, like, I ain't kicking it with you. Like, I don't care what sign you are. You get what I'm saying? So this ain't gonna do it.
My thing is, because we know that you could be this sign with this moon and this sun and this horoscope and this, and you can have traits of this sign and this sign. So literally everybody can be anybody as far as traits.
Right.
So therefore, just go date and figure out if this person is for you.
Right. Either listen, because you gotta ask. Listen, while you're worried about a sign, you need to be worrying about do they throw stuff when they mad? How's their relationship? How's their relationship with soap and water? Do you like to be tied up? Do you live in your mama's basement? There's a whole bunch of other things you need to find out.
They miss all the actual signs.
Right.
Focusing on the sign that said they was compatible.
That is facts. That is 100% facts.
Yeah, they looking at the zodiac signs and they missing all them red flags.
Man,
I like that. You need to put that on a t-shirt.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's funny that we are, discussing astrology with the holidays coming up. Around the holidays, for some reason, to me, this is when I hear the most around, Halloween and Christmas. And it's like, okay, so we're finna take this whole astrology thing up to the next level, and they're really talking about it. But at the end of the day, I'm like, y'all, I don't put any weight on it, right? If you want to use it to help you navigate because you feel like you need a tool to do that, then, by all means, do what you got to do. But I think unless you're going to take a deep dive and really understand this stuff, like you're just doing something just because it's popular, or just because it's the thing. It's trendy. Because and just like I said, my little research of this, it's a lot of moving parts, man. It's a lot to understand. So if you're basing your life decisions on this, you better be right, man. Because if you mess around and you think you got somebody good because you didn't pick the right sign, and then you marry this guy, you marry this girl, and they crazy and they doing all this stuff, then what you gonna blame it on?
That's
Facts.
a movie plot.
And it don't tell you if they can cook or not, or if they clean the side of their toilets.
It doesn't. You're right.
Dang,
Or if they lazy or not.
Well, some of them say laziness, but
a lot of stuff tells on it. They gonna tell on themselves, right? Because if you pay attention again to the details and not the signs as much, and pay attention to the detail, you get in a person's car, they're gonna tell you a lot about how the inside of their car look.
Look at their shoes.
Tell you a lot about their persons.
Look at the sole of their feet.
Shoes.
But see, we learned that from the hood, though. Like if he got on black Air Force Ones, we know something wrong.
Not even just the black Air Force Ones. I need to check the shoes in general. Are they leaning? Are they are they dirty? You don't even care about your shoes. Like I gotta look at your whole outfit. Like you don't care how you look. So
yeah. I mean, I understand. I get it.
Yeah, I think people lean too heavily on this stuff, man, and like the stuff that Trish Michelle is pointing out, looking at shoes. For guys, I know we definitely look at a woman, but we look at toes.
You better
look at toes, and we look at the heel of that foot. So, ladies, if you out here
that
wearing
thing
sandals,
crusty,
man,
no,
I'm telling you. Hold on, this summer I saw an all-time high in ashy back of the foot area. Like, I'm like, during the pandemic, you just didn't get none of that taken care of, and you still rocking with pandemic feet out here in these streets.
Did you say pandemic feet?
Pandemic feet out here in these streets, and you need to go see a nail tech expeditiously because
not the cracked bottoms, Ken.
The cracked. Like that, I seen them with the little. They had so much. This lady had so much dead skin on the back of her foot. Myra couldn't help her. Remember Myra from Martin?
From Martin,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Now Myra couldn't help her because you need a buzz saw to get all that crust off of there. It was pretty bad. It's pretty bad. And I should have asked her what sign she was. I should have asked her what sign she was. I'm gonna start doing that.
Like what sign? Hey, which one of y'all signs keep your foot crusty?
Excuse me, man. What sign are you?
He said, I noticed the back of your foot. What's your sign?
Yeah.
Hey, yo, that's wild, though.
The thing about that is these heifers go to the nail salon, and I'm gonna call these heifers, because this is the problem. Your one time in that nail salon, in that pedicure, is not gonna keep your little back of the foot from chapping up the next day. You gotta keep your own little pumice board in the shower with you. You gotta continuously exfoliate, just like you gotta do with the body scrubs. Exfoliate them feet and get your butter, cream, body butter, and put it on them feet.
Well, some of them got a little bit too swollen though, and they can't bend over that far.
That's what the bar give you.
They do got that one with the long handle on it though, you know.
Yeah, they probably
they do. See.
But they be putting butter and cream on stuff, but it ain't their foot and it ain't their body. It's on their food.
That's okay. When they do that, they just sop a little bit over there.
That's okay, because you know what, people, the weather's about to change. You don't have to worry about unbigging your back or any of that, because if you the right sign, somebody will pick you up. Because you know what I'm saying, we just proved it today. You know what I'm saying, people like these signs.
In the winter.
So it don't matter how big your back is, unless, you know what I'm saying, your family has to put you in the ground, and it's a different story.
We learned that if you're big, you know what I'm saying, they might have to fit you with 2 caskets. So
I think what a casket standard only fit mostly 6'3". So
yeah. So yeah, go check out that episode. Yeah. But yeah, man. I mean, this topic is so deep that we definitely don't have enough time to take a deep dive into it. But we want to hear from y'all in the audience. Have you ever not dated somebody simply because they were a certain sign? Yeah. Be honest. Put in the comments. Let us know.
What sign are y'all and them?
Yeah. Have you ever just said, nah, I'm not dating them because they were a certain sign? And have you ever dated somebody who was a certain sign because you thought it was compatible and it didn't work out?
Now, I know the homie Smallwood is a Scorpio because he posts it all the time. I know the homie Corey Smallwood is a Scorpio. I know that.
Yeah, I'm just proud to say I've never let the whole horoscope and all that mess run my decisions in my life.
Yeah, she
I like
said,
good credit for some people.
Janae the Fall Boston says zodiac signs are like good credit for some people. Yeah, yeah. That a lot of people use that as credit, and then the person have the right sign but the wrong credit because their credit be bad. And you checking the wrong thing.
And
You
they
know what
ain't
I'm
even thought
saying?
about that.
Nah, until it's too late. You know what I'm saying? And they borrowing money from, you know what I'm saying, to the next paycheck. So, but by that time they done already blew their back out, so they're gonna get that money up. You know what I'm saying? That's just
Facts.
how it
Mhm.
goes. It's a tangle web people weave themselves into out there by moving, you know what I'm saying, a certain way. And I guess whatever rhyme or reason works for them, hey, whatever, like the old folks say, whatever floats your boat, you know what I'm saying, is what it is. But I'm just telling y'all, this science stuff, man.
It's
Again, unless you take a
fun.
deep dive and study it, y'all need to stop basing your future
Off of
on this
this, right?
stuff. Like,
But how
cause
could you
it's
even do that anyway? How could you really base your life off of
Hmm.
something if you ain't even really took the time to understand it and know it and make sure that this is leading you somewhere properly? Like people
I
do
think
this, and that's crazy to me.
because we're in the information era, people want to be told things more than they want to research a thing. So,
Yeah.
like, you're in a space where you can find a person who is willing to research out what somebody says about them more than them finding out for themselves. Because it's easier. It's easier for me to accept what that says and take it as gospel or as truth than finding out for myself. Because most of the time, that takes a lifetime for you to figure out who you are and what you're gonna deal with.
yeah, I think people just looking for the easy button. And
Fact.
Yeah.
whatever way they can do that and rationalize their decisions instead of just saying I'm a bad judge of character, they're trying to do
Hmm.
that, right? So they're using it as say, well, I'm a great judge of character, but this person just the wrong sign, so that's why it didn't work out. Nah, you know what I'm saying? You're a poor judge of character and you're impatient, right? Because
Facts.
dating now more than ever, I think requires patience more than anything
Yeah.
Mhm.
because in the past you were able to sift through so much and then you've probably found something that was okay, but now it's more trash out there than ever because that's just the environment it is, right? So you're gonna have to sift through more. That means you're gonna have to be way more patient than you've ever been. So
Mhm.
I mean, y'all out here clapping cakes on the first night, which is not a knock, but like you keep doing that, like eventually, like you're just gonna run yourself in the ground, and there's just gonna be nothing left for you, and that's gonna be
Yeah.
the expectation, right?
At the end of the
Listen,
day, and you've learned nothing about the person.
Well, they learn some stuff, but it ain't got
Well,
nothing
you
to do
know.
with the relation.
I mean, you know.
you learn. I mean, you learn if you're going back or not
Well,
instantly.
hey, look, what they say, it takes 10,000 hours to become an expert, and some of y'all have exceeded your 10,000 hours in that area.
In that
Pretty
department,
sure,
yeah.
because the rubber done met the road one too many times.
If they even use that.
Well, no, because Ron is the way of the world now. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I'm about to say a lot of people got 10,000 hours in that. For sure.
Yeah.
10,000 out. Jody still ain't told us what sign he is, though.
Nah, he disappeared off the face of the earth, man. You know what
He
I'm saying? You know how
disappeared.
they go.
He
He
pop
he
in, pop out.
he told a lie and vanished in the thin air.
He
Damn.
dipped.
Yeah, what
He
sign is
dipped.
that?
All
All
right,
right.
like yo,
Shout out to our guy Corey Smallwood. What up, Wood?
Wood.
He say he vibes with all signs, but funky people come in all signs.
They
That's true. That's
do.
what we were
That is
saying
that
earlier.
last
Like it
Right.
don't matter what sign it is. Like people can be jacked up regardless.
they
So
gonna lie.
Like Benji was saying earlier, if you were a person who were born under a certain sign and this is what you born into, and you're born into a terrible environment, and you were born under a terrible set of parents who were a terrible example of relationships, you're gonna be a terrible person 9 times out of 10, and you're
Right.
gonna have terrible habit and terrible background. So you know what I'm saying, what you saw was a whole bunch of terrible stuff, and it's ingrained in you. And no matter what sign you are, you're gonna be a crappy
That's gonna be
person.
you, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
That's
so
because
just how I see it. I
it
don't
has
care
nothing
what
to do
your
with the
sign
sign.
is. If you don't learn some morals and learn some healthy concepts, you're gonna be shady, shisty, grimy, all of
Mhm.
that wrapped in one. I don't care if you're a Gemini or Scorpio or whatever. I'll put it to you like this: a garden tool is a garden tool. I don't care what sign she is.
well, I'm gonna give y'all some advice. You know what I'm saying? Free game for those out there. I took a class, a Dale Carnegie class. A lot of people don't even understand what that is, but you know what I'm saying? It's helping you become a better you, right? So
Right.
one thing in the class is the concept, and you have to really listen to people to understand and not listen to respond. So y'all have to, when y'all out on these dates, listen to understand these people and stop listening because you ready to talk. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm,
you just trying to respond to whatever they saying. Listen and understand what they saying, because I'm telling you, in conversation with so many people, I'm hearing red flags left and right, and I'm like, yo, you didn't you didn't hear what she was just saying, bro? Like, and you really finna go home with her? And everything she said
Mhm.
it's sending off red flags to me, bro. Like,
right.
I'm not understanding how you still feeling her after you just heard what I heard. Or
That's because some people don't be interested in that. The blinders be on when you see what you like, so to speak.
That's because
It can
that
come in a
booty.
physical form. That booty, huh?
It's the booty, not your beauty.
yep. Well, I think we've given the people an abundance of information today. So Trish Michelle, talk to the people before we get up out of here.
I just want to reiterate it's no knock to anybody that does the zodiac horoscope thing and this is what they believe in and this is their beliefs and what they do. So don't think we're trying to come for y'all in any type of way or make anybody believe this or that in any way. We just giving information and education. But at the end of the day, go for that organic interaction with people. Get to know a person and let it define it from there for you. That's what I can say for
I
sure.
agree.
And then you can find me on Instagram, Trisha Michelle _YT for sure. Libra Gang is what I am, but I'm also just me. So let's just say that. And I'm Trisha Michelle everywhere. So yeah, and a fire session on every platform.
All right, Benji Banks, talk to the people.
Listen, man. Uh, I done ran into some interesting people, man, over my time. And so some people, what they represent can totally make you like, yeah, nah, ain't with that, right? So, but again, if sign is your thing and you believe that's your thing, do your thing. But as for me, I'm simply looking out for how you treat people.
Yeah.
Like, again, don't matter to me. Like, I ain't got a track record of doing people dirty. So that's not on my resume. So when I meet people, I'm looking to have wholesome, cool, chill interactions with people.
Right.
So overall, I'm just looking for that from who you are. So I found that by following my concept and I stuck with it. So it's cool. So if sign after sign after sign after sign, you keep following the same concept and it ain't working for you, I mean, you might want to switch that up and go a new
You know?
route. So, but I mean, you can find us, I'm Fire Session at BRB4701. Look out for this dope photo shoot coming. So, Patricia, I'm be hitting you up for that. So,
Okay.
cigar lounge vibes for the wine and for the.
Ooh.
So we found the dopest spot. It's going to be super, super, super dope. And so we're putting it together, processing and putting it together, and looking forward to it. It's going to be legit. It is going to be legit. I've been searching for a dope cigar lounge where it's remodeled, renewed, all of that type of stuff, and we found exactly what we wanted. So we got it coming. So be on the lookout because the wine is about to start back popping up and all of that good stuff. So we in there. So go get the link in the bio. One Hope Wine with Benji. You can't miss it on Instagram and on Facebook. So can't miss it. So go check it out.
All right, all right. Corey Smallwood say he flying to Cali, Benji Banks.
Hey man, you hit Smallwood, you pull up. I guarantee you, I'll pull up this time, no doubt, for sure.
Yeah. Because Benji's a busy guy, but you know what I'm saying. We get out to Cali, make sure you hit him up, connect with him. He's plugged in. If you can't take you where you need to go, he can tell you where you need to go. That's for sure.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Well, y'all already know y'all can catch me at Big Ken's Comedy on IG, Big Ken's Comedy on Twitter, Big Ken's Comedy on Facebook. Y'all can catch me on the Fire Session every Tuesday night live. Y'all can catch us on all social media platforms. Just type in FIYAH session and go to YouTube. Make sure you go to our YouTube channel and like and subscribe and hit that little notification button, that little bell. So every time we go live, every time we post any new content, you get that. Because guess what? Some of these episodes might not be live all the time. We get into the space where we might have to pre-record some things because some of the guests, they don't want to do live. So,
Right.
if we want to get them on, we're going to have to do pre-recorded and, we're going to do what we got to do because
Facts.
we got to get these next level of guests coming through. So, shout out to that. And, we're growing and glowing and, what I'm saying, moving on up the mountain, you know what I mean? And we appreciate
Facts.
y'all support because without y'all support, we wouldn't be here today. We wouldn't be here. We wouldn't have the knowledge that we have because y'all help educate us as well. So, yeah, so like I say all the time, y'all already know y'all gonna be entertained and educated. We like to put the medicine in the candy because that's what we do. So we like to give you a bit of both. So make sure you hit us up with any guest that you want to see. We're gonna try to get them. You know what I'm saying? Any topics that you want to talk about, we definitely can put them on the list and get them discussed. And we definitely need you to tune in on those days, especially if you pick the topic because we want you to be a star
Right.
too. And
Right.
also, as I've told people before, if you are interested in being on the show, being on the screen, that means being on the screen, people, and you got something that you feel like is worthy, hit us up. We're
Yeah.
we're
Right.
not we're not beyond that. We love to engage with people, and if you feel like you're a good fit for the topic that you bring up, hey, you might be a fire friend, you know what I'm saying, on the episode. So the invitation is out there, and we've told you all before, and we mean it because we want to show support to the people who support us. So, you know what I'm saying, shout out
Facts.
to y'all. So y'all make sure y'all tune in next week. We're going to have another dope episode, another dope topic. Y'all already know how we do it. It's the Fire Session. Peace. Thank you for joining us today. Please follow us on all social media platforms. Just search Fire Session.